What's up, class? My name is Gabriel Kretzinger, and I am a cybersecurity and digital forensics major here at Bloomsburg. And today I'll be telling you about Mexico's war on drugs, crime, and the cartel. What is Mexico's war? It is a long-running internal conflict between Mexican government and drug trafficking organizations, also known as DTOs. It began formally in December of 2006 when President Felipe Calderon deployed federal troops. And cartels are not just drug smugglers, but they are militarized, diversified criminal syndicates. And in the corner, we have a picture of people protesting Mexico's drug war. This is not a traditional war, meaning there are no clear front lines, as in World War II. Violence often spikes after arrest due to power struggles. And over time, cartels have evolved from purely drug-based groups to full criminal enterprises. Timeline. So from the 70s to the 80s, the U.S. demand for drugs increased, which led to the rise in cartels in Colombia and Mexico. In 1989, the arrest of Miguel Angel Felix Gallardo, also known as El Padrino, splinters the Guadalajara cartel. From the 90s to the 2000s, new cartels formed, such as the Sinaloa, Gulf, Tijuana, and Juarez. In the 2000s, cartels expand from cocaine into meth, fentanyl, human trafficking, and extortion. And then in 2006, President Calderon launches a full-scale militarized campaign. Felix Gallardo's arrest fractured organized crime, which led to many turf wars. And post 9/11, the U.S. pressured Mexico to crack down harder on trafficking. Who is the cartel? So the major players, or cartel members, are the Sinaloa cartel, which are a highly structured global network led by El Chapo. The CJNG, which is rapidly growing, aggressive, and heavily armed. Los Zetas, which is ex-military, extremely violent, and now fragmented. The Gulf cartel, which is based in Tamaulipas. They have a lot of historical significance. Beltran Leyva organization, which is former Sinaloa allies. When they splintered off, they created that. And the Santa Rosa de Lima cartel, which mainly focuses on fuel theft. The operations beyond drugs, cartels have expanded into human smuggling, illegal fuel tapping, money laundering, and extortion and kidnapping. Government's response. So first we have the U.S.'s response. The Merida Initiative from 2008 to 2021 was a $3.3 billion security cooperation agreement between the U.S. and Mexico. U.S. provided funding, training, equipment, and intelligence sharing. It aimed at disrupting organized crime, strengthening the rule of law, and modernizing border security. It was criticized for focusing too much on militarization and not enough on institution building or demand reduction. Number 2, drug interdiction and DEA operations. So the U.S. DEA and other federal agencies worked with Mexican counterparts to track and disrupt drug trafficking networks. Coordinated operations have led to major cartel busts and extraditions. For example, El Chapo in the United States. 3, targeting arms trafficking. Efforts to crack down on illegal U.S. gun sales that arm Mexican cartels, though often hampered by domestic laws. Operation Fast and Furious from 2006-2011 backfired, and U.S. weapons ended up in the cartels. And 4th, shift in strategy. This was post-2021. The Merida Initiative was phased out and replaced with Bicentennial Framework. The new strategy emphasizes public health, which is mainly drug addiction treatment, crime prevention, human rights, and combating arms and money trafficking. This was a more balanced approach between security and social development. Next, we have Mexico's response. 1, militarization of the drug war. This was from 2006 to today. It was launched by President Felipe Calderon in 2006 when this originally started. He deployed tens of thousands of federal troops to confront cartels and intended to combat widespread corruption in local police. This continued under later presidents, including Enrique Peña Nieto and Andres Manuel Lopez Obrador, also known as AMLO, to the Kingpin strategy. This focused on killing or capturing top cartel leaders like El Chapo. This resulted in fragmentation of large cartels into smaller, more violent splinter groups. It often led to power struggles and surges in homicides. 3. Judicial and police reforms. Attempted reforms of the judicial system and federal police to reduce corruption and improve accountability. Created the Guardia Nacional, or National Guard, in 2019 under AMLO to centralize federal law enforcement. 4. Controversial policies. AMLO's Abrazos no balazos, which means hugs not bullets, approach focused more on social programs and poverty reduction than direct confrontation. Critics argue that this has not reduced cartel violence effectively. 5th, anti-corruption measures. Some high-profile arrests of corrupt officials, but systemic corruption remains deeply rooted. Ongoing investigations into former officials, like Genaro Garcia Luna, who was an ex-security minister. Next is human impact. Impact on society. There were over 350,000 homicides since 2006. Over 100,000 people disappeared. Increasingly targeted via femicides, trafficking, and children and families. Thousands of children were displaced or orphaned. 2 notable incidents, one in 2010 and 2014. In 2010, 72 migrants were massacred by Los Zetas. And in 2014, 43 students disappeared, allegedly by police and cartels. And they are still finding widespread mass graves discovered annually. This picture here is a protest of people holding up 43 pictures of each student that disappeared in the 2014 incident. Conclusion. This was a multifaceted conflict, not just about drugs. Cartels function like parallel governments in some areas. Mexico's drug war is both domestic crisis and a global issue, and long-term solutions must address corruption, poverty, demand, and impunity. And while there's a lot being done right now, there's a long way to go to end Mexico's war on drugs, crime, and the cartels. Thank you.